Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. It's been a rainy day today, but after rain comes the sun. We also hope that after COVID-19, there will be a fast and good recovery for travel market and business. I'm Angelo Jambore. I'm your host today, together with my colleague, Waimin. And first of all, thank you for your time and the interest in DCS Plus products and technology in general and in IRIX in particular. I have prepared a presentation, a short one for today, and I'm going to switch off the video to focus on the presentation, and we'll go through the slides and all the details of the webinar. Let me introduce ourselves. Waimin, my colleague, has an extensive experience in travel industry. She used to work for JTB before she joined DCS Plus, and she's responsible from Singapore, for pre-sales activities as well as implementation and delivery for our existing and future customers. My background is not in travel. I joined DCS Plus 4 years ago as a VP of Sales and Marketing with previous experience in the product management, product marketing, and business development. But I'm a fast learner. I managed to learn a lot of things, and I think I can bring some good experience from different industries that is useful for travel agencies as well. So we are the hosts for today, and we hope we are going to deliver good content and something useful you can learn from. The agenda for today, there will be two parts. One with a few slides going through DCS Plus history, NDC, and our partnership with Lufthansa, and an overview of IRIX, our internet booking engine. And the second part, perhaps more interesting, where we'll go into an actual demo with relevant examples from Lufthansa and other pieces of content available in our demo interface. This will be done with Waimin help. In the meantime, please feel free to ask questions anytime during the presentation. You may use the raise hand option in the webinar, or you may write down on the chat. We will take care from time to time to check it and note the questions from your side. We'll try to address it straight away if possible, or during the Q&A session at the end. We will record this webinar and share the video with you after it. You will also receive demo credentials to IRIX, so you have the chance to spend more time with the product, test some cases relevant to your business, and maybe come back with more questions. Few things about DCS Plus. We are headquartered in Europe. The company opened the business 18 years ago, working from the very beginning for travel agencies. And we opened the office in Singapore in 2018. Since 2018, we have already got customers in 6 markets across APAC, Singapore, of course, but also Australia, Philippines, Vietnam, Taiwan, and Malaysia, and looking forward to getting more customers soon. Altogether, we have customers in more than 50 markets worldwide, most of them in Europe and Middle East for historical reasons, but also customers in US, Latin America, or countries in Africa. We help companies with from small travel agencies with revenue below 5 million maybe, to very large travel agencies with complex environments and a high turnover above 2 billion euro, which means we have a portfolio of products that can be easily adjusted for small needs, but also for high and complex needs. Most of our customers are used RTMC networks working with major representatives for all the from all the networks, and also with some high-level agreements with Radius Travel, Global Star, and very good partnerships at the local level as well. But we also have a lot of leisure kind of travel agencies, OTAs, or wannabe OTAs, or tour operators. So quite a complex portfolio in terms of geographical spread and in terms of typology of travel agencies. This helps us to learn a lot from various business models, but more important, to pass this learning across to our customers and create an ecosystem that helps to share information among our travel agencies and improve their business models. Okay, I'm sure you know very well what is NDC about. You've had a Lufthansa session a few weeks ago, so I'm not going through all of the details. It's been a huge progress, although slow in adoption, and a foundation, I believe, for a future way of traveling. As a standard, it creates the opportunity of rich content for the benefit of both travel agencies and passengers. It also means new revenue opportunities from upsell or purchase of ancillary services. More interesting, it has maybe an unexpected effect of driving the direct channel because it allows airlines to differentiate and drive a more flexible commercial policy. We have Lufthansa as a pioneer in this journey, and more recently, a very good example from Singapore Airlines as a leading airline in the region. DCS Plus has started this journey with Lufthansa in 2015, and we were among the first technology providers to open up a direct connection built on NDC principles. Working with Lufthansa Group as a whole, which means Lufthansa Airline, but also Austrian, Brussels, Swiss as well from 2015, but also working with all other providers of NDC content, including the GDS. Of course, NDC is available through the GDS channel, and it depends on the airline, availability of the content, and of course on the destination. But how do you get access to this content? IRIX is the answer, and it's our aggregation and distribution platform with 12 years of experience and customers across various markets, including APAC. How does it work? I'm sure you are very familiar with many booking engines, so the concept is not new. You see in the slides on the left-hand side, we have the content in terms of GDS content for flights, but also aggregating hotel suppliers, rent-a-car, content transfer providers, and so on. And on the right-hand side, we have various distribution channels. It can be through B2B, either through a B2B partner network, or through the B2C channel, through your own website. And of course, IRIX is accessible by your travel agents. Why is IRIX different? First of all, because I mentioned there are a lot of booking engines in the market. First, it's a tool that allows you to grow your business. And as such, the quality is critical because you want to access your content whenever you need. And any error may cost and impact your business. There are agencies in our portfolio running thousands of transactions a day. Altogether, we have millions of transactions through various IRIX platforms installed in different countries. And this shows how robust is the system. And also we have a high availability architecture that means the product can be distributed on multiple machines. This is on the technical side. On the On the other side, secondly, IRIX is a collection of tools. It's not just about the infrastructure that we provide. It's a collection of tools that helps you as an admin better manage your content. We have the aggregation of suppliers. We have the management of the reservations, including the travel documents that you need to manage on behalf of your customers, and fiscal documents as well. And of course, very important is the pricing and markup that allows you to add, to give a commission further on to your resellers, to add a markup where it's necessary, and also to run promotions. This is very important. Of course, there is a management of the reselling accounts that allows you to differentiate among your resellers and decide what kind of content you want to distribute further on through various channels. Maybe Lufthansa Direct content will be distributed only through preferred partners, while the rest of the GDS content is available widely. Of course, very important is the reporting side and availability and accessibility of data. And because it's a business tool and you want to manage your business on it, you get a very solid module with syslogs, alerts that gives you access to information behind, gives you access to check the quality of the connection, and also to very fast to be able to troubleshoot the system. I mentioned the content, which is very important. It's critical, actually, because good content helps you to differentiate. And we started this webinar from the content point of view with Lufthansa as a trigger for this discussion and presentation, and NDC as a foundation for rich content. With IRIX, you have access to all the three major GDS, Amadeus, Sabre, and Travelport. You have access to low-cost content through Travel Fusion, and of course, Lufthansa Group as a direct connection, but Emirates also with direct connection and access to their content directly, Singapore Airlines more recently, and we are working at the same time to developing other direct connections with significant airlines in the regions based on our customers' feedback and the demand from the market. Of course, we have other airlines that are not relevant for APAC, more relevant for Europe and for Latin America. So I will not go into those details. And content through NDC and through Lufthansa means three things: means branded fare, means ancillary services, and corporate rates as well. This gives you access to richer content. It helps you to differentiate through the product attributes and get access to content that creates more options to your customers, which helps driving up the conversion and also driving up the personalization. Better to show this during the demo, and actually I don't want to spend too much of the time with the presentation. I think more interesting is to go through the demo itself. Especially because we have Wai Min here with us. I mentioned ancillary services as well. That gives you access to sell extra options like additional luggage or bicycle, or even to upgrade from one seat to another. And more relevant for corporate segments, the corporate codes and all the other options that allows you to manage in a very nicely, and also through automation, the corporate content and corporate requirements, including remarks and the queue placement. I will not go again into detail. I'm very conscious about time. I think we have already spent 15 minutes from an hour, and better to have more time for the demos. So I will hand over to my colleague Wai Min. And in the meantime, again, I encourage you to to go into, to ask questions, even detailed questions as possible. And we are here to answer and maybe to help you get a better understanding of our product.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Waimin, and I will be taking over from Angelo from now to conduct a quick demo of our product, IRIX, and show you how it supports NDC. Give me a minute while I share my screen. I'll run through 3 processes here. The first one would be to conduct a flight search, which you will see is very easy and straightforward, followed by a quick booking. And you can see how our system or IRIX helps you in making the booking process very quick as well through a database retrieval of your client, your regular customers' profiles. Followed by finally a quick overview of how you can manage your flight suppliers. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Angelo, do you see the screen?
Yes, Waimin, I can see your screen. It looks very nice.
Thank you. So right now I'm logged in our booking platform. So what Angelo showed you just now, this is one of the booking channels. We have as well for IRIX the admin panel, which I will show you later. So on this page, this is where your travel consultants as well as your sub-agents will be able to perform flight searches as well as make bookings. You are also able on this front page to customize some of your offerings, product offerings, or special offers to your sub-agents without having to contact them individually. So the moment they log in, they will already see a display of all the best offers that you already have. To perform a search is really easy. All the travel consultant has to do or the sub-agent has to do is to select the flight option for flight bookings or hotel for other options. And for me to make a search, as you see on the left-hand side, it's very straightforward, very instinctive. It's different from what you would see, for example, on the GDS, where the booker might need some knowledge on how to use the GDS. So in this case, I think this really benefits agencies who are looking to expand, especially in Singapore, where there is a lack of people who are experienced in the travel industry, and there is also a lack of new blood joining the industry. We are over here able to perform different flight type searches. So for example, I can definitely make a one-way booking, a round trip, which is the most common, as well as open jaw multiple destination bookings. Then of course, the flight classes that's a given. You can search for any class or a specific class that your client or customer might be looking for. So for me to proceed with a search is very straightforward as well. There's not much training required. All I need to do is to input the origin city as well as the destination city. I can input the dates over here. If you are making a booking for a corporate client where time is of a big concern, you can also select a preferred timing. For your leisure customers who might be more price conscious, you can also make use of the flexible dates where the system will look for the best prices plus minus 3 days from the dates that you've input here. Then for this booking, we're just going to make a very quick search for an adult, but you can of course make searches for children as well as infant. Over here, you are also able to take advantage of the advanced filters to look for specific content that you like. For example, you might want to look for specifically Lufthansa group. So I can key in the airline name over here. I can also choose to look for direct flights only. We have for the agency, for yourself and as well as for travel consultants, if you want to open this up to them, to search by suppliers. So one of the main benefits of IRIX is that you are able to aggregate content from different platforms. So in addition to supporting the Lufthansa direct connection, you can also connect your existing booking platforms. So most of the agencies in Singapore, I suppose, they are using more than one GDS. So you could have a Lufthansa direct connection. You could also connect all of your GDSs here so that you can compare prices across different platforms. You can also gather content which may not be available on a particular platform over here. So you can see all of the content that you need here. And of course, if you're looking for something very specific, you could select a specific supplier. Maybe you want to push sales for that supplier or for that platform for the month, so you could do that. And with this Lufthansa Direct Connect, the benefit is that with a single connection, you are able to retrieve content directly from all of the airlines under Lufthansa Group, which also includes Austrian Airlines and Swiss Airlines, if your core market is, of course, Europe, and you're booking a lot of flights there. I'm not going to apply any filter here, but of course you could, so that we can get more results. Okay, as you notice, the search is very fast, and I had previously done a few other searches. So this platform is actually able to cache the results of the searches that you've done. So it's really perfect for multitasking, especially for your travel consultants who are working at a counter. So customers may walk in anytime, customers may call anytime, and you don't have to abandon the search. You can leave it there and return to it later on once you're done attending to whatever you're doing at the moment. So we have here the results displayed. And further, on the left, I can make use of other advanced filters if I want to further sieve out the results that I really want. So for the veterans who are very familiar with fare basis codes, they can definitely key in to search for a specific fare basis code over here. And we also have very commonly used filters like price for the leisure segment, as well as the number of stops, as well as specific carriers that you're looking for. And we can also sort the results by price or a preferred priority that you could set. So if there are some airlines that you prefer to book, for example, Lufthansa is your preferred number one preferred airline, followed by Swiss Airlines, you can set that and the results will be displayed accordingly if you use this sorting filter. And for now, I would filter to only Lufthansa results. So I'll select this option for direct flights. And on this page, I would be able to see all the available best results. So for example, the first result I have here would be of the best price. And I can see details such as the validating carrier, fare basis codes. All the details that you could previously see in the GDS are over here as well. So it has all the details that you need. Additionally, it also shows the fare family. So as well as provide branded fares, and later on in the next page, you will see that there are ancillary services options available. So over here, we want to differentiate a little between fare families and branded fares. So fare families actually match product differences with standard hierarchical fare classes. So for example, the lowest fares would of course have the lowest or the fewest number of amenities included, whereas the highest fares would have bundled in most of the common ancillary services. Whereas branded fares, they are an add-on on a bundle of amenities or ancillary services as an upsell on any fare or fare classes. So if you, for example, you have a branded fare called a Plus, so the Plus will apply to both economy and business class. So it's more for you to really apply some of the retail psychology by assigning a simple price point to a better bundle of amenities for you to better upsell to your customers. So most often it is used in the leisure context, but of course, maybe in future we can see that being happening for the corporate as well, as the corporates try to cut down on their travel costs. They may go for lower fares, but then add on with additional services that the travelers might need, which in the end might result in a cheaper price overall for the traveler. So I'm going to scroll down a little to show the other results. So as we mentioned, IRIX is able to aggregate content from different suppliers. So over here, you'll see content that is directly from the Lufthansa direct connection. You would also see, if we are lucky enough, let's see whether we have results from other suppliers. Okay, we have one that's coming from the GDS, and the results from the GDS are also supporting the fare families. So at a glance, you will be able to see all the available options that you have. So as mentioned earlier, the lower fare classes or the cheaper ones would have less inclusions than maybe one that is slightly more expensive on a higher class, where they will have more services or even most of the more common ancillary services already included. So with this, you can also see different fare types. Um, Early on, we saw a light fare. We also have a classic fare, and it gives a very quick summary of what you have included in that fare. So that's for the search, very straightforward. Post search, there is also a quotation function. Maybe we will touch on that later. But before this, I will move on to select this flight to proceed with booking. So now we're coming to the second step, which would be the booking step. Once you've selected the offer that you prefer, you will see that there are even more results that are shown over here. So you have the meals that's included, what is the fare class. You also have the detailed fare rules. That are coming in from the airlines. So details exactly like what you would see right now, but they've been divided into sections, which is easier for you to look for what you need. And then you have even more details here. We also show details about the fare family. What we have selected is classic for both ways, in and out. And you can see the inclusions, even details about the mileage accrual, because I think most of the travelers, especially the corporate travelers, are always interested to know about this part. So we can very easily advise them. Even if your travel consultant is not as experienced and not very familiar, they can easily, at a glance, view all the details available. Another point of information that might be of interest to the traveler would be always regarding the baggage allowance. So again, you have all the details here. There's no need for you to search elsewhere, search online to look for this piece of information. So now for me to proceed with a booking, it's very straightforward. All I need to do is to key in the details of my traveler. And then if there are any other additional details required by the airline or by the supplier, it will be marked with an asterisk. So in the event that this platform, let's say, for example, you are working with a mid-back office that stores all of the information of your frequent travelers, regular and corporate travelers, the system can be connected to your mid-back office to retrieve the details of your customers. So there will be a database where you can very easily search for your client instead of having to key in manually each time you make a booking. But of course, even now, the booking process is very simple. Minimal details are required as a compulsory field. And then once it's done, you can choose to add on ancillary services. So for all of you who have been on the Lufthansa Spark platform, SPRK, you'll be very familiar with the options here. For example, the accompanied minor. And for some flights, you could also have extra baggage that you could add on. So for this option, you would already see the price that you will need to pay additionally, and you can immediately make a payment for that and confirm it right away. Then we also have details about the flight seat. This may be more applicable for corporate travelers who are more conscious about where they sit. They may prefer to have a specific seat that they always take if they're in a business class, or they may always prefer our seat so that they can get off the plane faster. Then for the agency, we have details such as the ticketing time limit, and then the payment method, which could be activated on the back end. We have a few. We have online payment. We have over here what you see is a credit limit that you can set, as well as, of course, offline payment. Then specific to each agency, you could also set up back office remarks that are applicable. So maybe you want to run a report to see who is making the bookings. Of course, the account itself captures. So I'm booking on in my own account, but let's say you have some part-time agents who are sharing an account, then you could have them enter their when they book. And then you could run a report with this remark. Similarly, if there are any other remarks that you would need to store or send to, let's say, Lufthansa for further processing, you could also set up the remarks here. It can be fully customized. You could set your own variables, own views here. Could be a drop down as well, so that it can be further sent for further processing. And then with this, that's it. We can proceed to book. I won't proceed with the booking here because we won't be covering the post-booking process today, which includes, of course, management of the booking, issuing the ticket, and maybe the system's auto-cancellation of the PNR in case it is not issued, the ticket is not issued. So for this booking process, I will stop here. Please feel free to use the raise hand option or leave us a chat if you have any questions up to this point. Angela will be helping me to check if there are any questions. So on the reseller platform, which is one of the selling channels, we have covered the flight search, which we have shown is very easy. That's one key benefit. And the second benefit is that you are able to aggregate content from different suppliers at once. So you don't have to log into multiple platforms just for the booking process. So for this part, it really depends on how your agency wants to organize your workflows. But what we recommended to some of our clients who are looking to expand their business is that they could have a team who is in charge of the sales, and then they just generating sales and getting a lot of bookings all the time. So their focus will be just making bookings. And then you have another operations team who might be taking care of the revalidation, refunds, or cancellations, and the post-booking process. Yeah. And the second part, we moved on to the booking, where we showed you that it's really quick to complete a booking, even for brand new customers. For regular customers, it's even faster if it's connected to a platform or another system that has all the profiles or information of your traveler stored. And then you can also make use, of course, of remarks. You can, of course, on the spot, pay for ancillary services that you would like to include in your offering to a customer. So all of these options here help you to customize and also personalize the offering that you give to your customers, and hopefully that translates to a better customer experience as well. So with this, I'm done. And then now I will touch a little on how we can manage the suppliers. So you'll be interested to see how you as an agency would have to manage this direct connection and what it means for you if, let's say, you are working with many airlines who are all looking at direct connections. So, for example, you have 5 different airlines, so who are looking into moving more into the direct connection. So you have Lufthansa, you have maybe Emirates as well, and you have, for example, or Singapore for Singapore Airlines. All of these airlines or suppliers could be managed under the service providers section in the IRIX admin, where once we perform the connection, meaning DCS Plus, we build that connection, all you need to do is to provide us with your API credentials. So in case of this Lufthansa Direct Connect, we have already completed the connection. So what I mean here is that the bridge is already built. All you need to do is to hand us the key to the gate. And once we key in the details, which will be your office IDs and details and so on, the API credentials, the gate is unlocked. And from there, you will be able to receive the content directly from the airlines. So for you, the management part is really minimal. You can manage things like the markup that you want to put on the cost that the airline is sending. You might want to manage the commission that you're giving to your resellers or sub-agents who are buying from you. And then you could also manage some of the details here, such as the default currency, whether you want to allow branded fares and private fares, whether you want to show the ancillary services. You could control some of the more operational items, such as the ticketing limit, whether it's from the GDS or directly from the airline, or it could also be starting from the date of reservation. So the system, the platform itself is really flexible. You could choose to set a ticketing timeline from the date of reservation. For example, 3 days from the time that the PNR is created, you want to have it ticketed automatically by the system. So there are also some other options here for the ticketing part. And in case you're wondering, as Angelo mentioned earlier, we are also able to manage corporate fares, just like for the GDSs. So for the airlines direct connection, you could also add in your corporate fares. It could be at your own level, meaning a corporate fare or private fare that belongs to the agency that you might want to make available to all of your sub-agents. Or you could also add a specific corporate fare that belongs to one of your corporate clients. So it will be shown only on their interface when they make bookings. So this is pretty much it for the management of your direct connection suppliers. It's very straightforward. To be honest, most of the work here, the management, is done by our customer support team. We help our customers a lot with this. We help them with ensuring that the setup is done properly. We make sure that the details are exactly what they need. So what you will need to do as an agency is really to check your markup and commission if this is something that you do. Yeah. So other than that, I don't see that it will be anything that you would find difficult. But of course, the team is available 24/7 from the different offices to support you in case you have any questions anytime. So from here, maybe I'll also touch a little on this function virtual connectivity. You might be wondering, it's not so often, but we do have our clients who gave feedback to us that this function has proven to be very useful because they might be working with some of the sub-agents who are making bookings all the time. So there are times when the sub-agents may report to the agency that why can't I find content, or it seems like I can't find any content from this specific supplier. So what you can do as an agency is that you can do a very quick check on the connectivity. So for this part, it's very simple. As you can see, I just click on a button and then I can check the connectivity with the server of my supplier. And then I can check whether there's any issue. So we have had reports where the agency themselves or even the supplier did not know that their server is down, but because of this function, they were able to check and report it to the supplier, and then the supplier could look into this. So these are things which very small things which you might not use all the time, but it can help you in important times for you to check your connectivity with your suppliers to make sure that everything is working and doesn't disrupt your sales process. So that's all I have for you today with regard to how IRIX can support your NDC or your path to direct connection. So from now, let us know if you have any questions and we can address them straight away. You can use the raise hand option or you can use the chat.
To leave a little bit of time for the Q&A session, I have a question for you. If the system allows to manage multiple Office IDs or PCCs.
Yep. So should give me a minute. Maybe I'll share my screen again. So over here, you see that there are different connections to, I'm sharing my screen now, please let me know if you don't see it.
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, great. You have connections to multiple suppliers, and this is where you input your Office IDs or details. So to your question, whether we can support multiple connections to different Office IDs, maybe there are some agencies who have different entities under the main company and each of them has a different Office IDs. The answer is yes, we can support that. So we could activate LH Direct Connect 1, LH Direct Connect 2, 3, 4, and then you'll be able to rename it according to how you like to see it. So you could say like LH Direct Connect, Office A, Office B, so on, so that you can very easily identify and then set up the display of the results according to whoever is searching for it. So as an extension to Angelo's question, you could also set it up such that Office A or Agency A can only see the content from this particular connection for Office A, Office B for Office B's connection, and so on. Okay, I'll stop my screen share. Okay, I have another question here that I see from one of our participants. Okay, so the question is regarding whether there is automated management for unissued PNRs or so unticketed reservations. So the answer here is that yes, in IRIX you are able to set up a configuration for reservation management. So you can have the PNRs that are not ticketed or not processed by the ticketing timeline automatically cancelled. So it's under one of the ticketing options which I showed earlier on. Okay, and we have another question here. The question is regarding changes from the airlines or any updates. So within, the answer here is that there are alerts within IRIX, which you can set up the email addressee to. So you could have an email address or inbox that would receive all the alerts and notifications. So in case that there are any changes from Lufthansa or any of the airlines within the Lufthansa group with regard to the PNR status or even some of the updates or SSR codes, you would receive an alert. But of course, there has to be someone who's checking these email alerts and then taking action for them and monitoring.
I'm very sure there should be other questions too.
Yeah. So
I know it's been a very high level. Yes, please.
Just wait a moment for anyone, the participants to think of any further questions that they might have. Yeah, and key in for us.
And while you prepare a question, I just wanted to mention that this was our intention to keep it high level with a focus on the flight side. You've noticed IRIX is more than that. The accommodation hotel option module is quite comprehensive. And it's also interesting to see maybe some other time. And of course, there are different kind of suppliers that can be aggregated in IRIX. So you have a single interface where you can access your content and then distribute it further on through various channels. Okay, if there is no other question, maybe I can inspire you a little bit. So if there is no other question, I think we can end the session. We try to stick within 1 hour. Yeah, we managed it quite well. We hope for many questions from your side. Of course, we are happy to get your questions even after the webinar. And immediately after, we will share with you access credentials to IRIX, so you can play by yourself, run the demo scenario that Wai Min showed to you, maybe run other demo scenarios, check the hotel part and other things in the demo interface, and maybe this will stimulate more questions from your side, and we are happy to answer to you. Of course, we will also share the registration of this webinar. And upon entering IRIX demo, using the credentials, for those that enter the system, we also issue certifications to certify that you went into the system and you managed to use it. Thank you again for your time today. It's already the weather much better outside, and I hope it's been useful. I hope you learned something new. I hope this is going to help you in your activity, and fingers crossed for a successful recovery for our region, for Singaporean agencies, and we are supporting the going back to travel and industry, and we stay together through these hard times, and hope it will be a safe journey for all of us to the end. Thank you, Wai Min, also for your very good presentation. And yeah, I may name some of the participants that I can see. Thank you, Doreen, James, Jesse, Kathleen, Liling, Stephen, Eating, and all the others for your time today. And looking forward to talking to you soon again. Have a wonderful day.